Again, this hearing was from back in July, so now we are expecting to hear from a judge today on this issue. Let's bring back in National Trial Attorney Michael Jaffer. Michael, could you first just help us remember the difference between competency and insanity? Not the same thing, but there are steps to getting a person evaluated, and there's also steps to make sure they're not just malingering, not trying to beat the competency test or beat the insanity evaluation.
Yeah, big difference, massive differences, right? Obviously, insanity is a mental health issue. Competency is something different. This is a 14-year-old kid, right? It's not a 14-year-old kid today. It was a 14-year-old at the time that this happened. So if competency is not relevant for her, it's not relevant for anybody. I mean, when you get a competency of a 2-year-old kid, you know, I mean, give me a break. I've hated this case since day one. The fact that they're charging her with murder one, obviously, and also the attempted murder of her stepfather. She's 14 years old, right? That doesn't excuse what she did, but there's a process, there's a system for this. She's the definition of a juvenile, right? This is in Mississippi. So, you know, for competency, you have to go through whether or not the person appreciates not only not the wrongfulness of their conduct, but understands the proceedings, understands the law, understands why they're being charged, understands what the process is. Again, because this is a kid, right? This competency sometimes is relevant for adults as well, because there are people who, you know, have a learning disability, who are not competent to stand trial, who don't understand, don't appreciate what the system is. Competency is different than insanity. Insanity is more for people with dealing with schizophrenia, bipolar, delusions, different types of things. Obviously, that is mainly reserved for adults, but competency is for all spectrum of ages, right? But mainly for children, right? You see competency a lot in these states where they try to test the limits of trying somebody as a juvenile. You know, some states I've seen try a kid, you know, as an adult who commits a murder when they're 12. You know, I don't recall if I've ever seen one where they've successfully done it, but they do it. There are victims who call the prosecution, call the state and say, this is an adult, she's a bad kid, try her, she knows what she was doing. You know, but competency becomes a factor. Again, it can happen with adults as well. It's less known, less common. It's more common for people who are between the ages, under the ages of, I would say 16, 15, right? That's where you see competency evaluations succeed. Never succeed for anyone who's 17 or older ever. I don't think it's even tried. Once in a while for a 16-year-old, but anyone 15 and younger, competency becomes relevant. It's obviously very relevant here for the obvious reasons.